Hello everybody, Steffi here from The Makers. Welcome to our needle felted curly hedgehog tutorial. It's a live stream, but I'm recording it, so you will be watching this live for the first time on the 12th of October 2021 on YouTube, but I'm actually already will have done it by then. But here's our little chap. He's super cute. He's got a really lovely little face. He's got stumpy little legs, and best of all, he's got a really lovely curly cover on his back to imitate the hedgehog spikes. So if you are watching this on the 12th of October, you will know that we have a competition. And of course, also if you're watching this on the 14th of October on our Facebook page, where we repeat all of our live streams at 7 p.m. And so you will also know that you can win a prize today. And I will tell you first off what the prize is. And so you can win yourself today one of our spice mix wool mixes, which has got all these lovely autumnal variegated colors in there. And what we would like you to do is pop that in the comments, whether you're watching this live on YouTube or on our Facebook page. Tell us where your hedgehog will be hibernating this winter. Maybe you've even got a real one in your garden, or maybe you just have an imaginary, or maybe it's your little curly hedgehog. Tell us where your hedgehog will be hibernating this winter for a chance to win our spice wool mix. And there will be a winner picked randomly at the end of each of the live streams on Tuesday and on Thursday evening. If you're watching this anytime after the 12th or the 14th of October, you won't be able to participate in this competition, in this prize draw, but of course you can watch the whole tutorial for free and learn how to make a needle felted curly hedgehog. And just to show you the spice mix, oh, I've got it in action actually. If you can see those amazing acorns here, they are all made with, every single one is made with a spice mix. So you've got the variegated red, the variegated turquoise, the variegated ochre, the variegated dormouse, the variegated orange, the variegated red, and I've already said the variegated deep red. So all the colors are in there, and you can make the whole acorns. And there's also a tutorial available on our YouTube channel, which is under our how to make whatever theme, rather than our live streams and our make-alongs. So let's have a look at our little hedgehog, because he comes in a pack that you can purchase from our website, and it's a large letter pack that fits through your letter box. And let's open this up and have a look what you find inside if you do this from our pack here. So first of all, gotta get in it. This one has got our paper tape. So the paper tape is usually quite good, and you can literally just peel it back rather than having to cut it open. And it also seals up again. Oh, half of it is coming out already. So you get your full step-by-step instructions in there that tells you how to do it. And you can, of course, use those and the live stream all at the same time. Start at the beginning, finish at the end. That's what we always say. And you've also got a little template in there. I shall be using this today, so I'm going to put this to one side for now. You also get felting needles in your pack, which is 3 medium felting needles. That's all you need to use, the medium ones. You get our Eco Wool mat, which is a little mat like this. You take the label off, and if you can see the Hessian on one or the other side, then have that on the inside of your felting mat. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute. You also get your glue-in eyes, which are in here. So if you open this pack early, then make sure that you do not lose the eyes. They're quite important, obviously, because your hedgehog needs to see. So 2 glue-in eyes, which I'm just going to put to one side here now. And then you get your main wool to make the body and the legs. And you get a little bit of black for the nose and features. And most importantly, you get your lovely curls to dress your hedgehog. So all of this you'll find in the pack. And I'm just going to close this again and put it right here out of the way. And let's see, all the hedgehogs will be different, so you don't have to make the legs. You can have him just sitting flat on his tummy, or you can give him legs. Your hedgehogs will be different in that the curls might be slightly different colors. They come from sheep, and we can't tell the sheep which color to grow their curls in, and also they will have different characters. Some will have longer legs, some will have bigger faces, some will have smaller faces. It's all a complete mystery what your hedgehog will look like, but nevertheless, whatever it will be like, you will absolutely love it and fall in love with it. Of that I'm absolutely certain. Right, so let's get started with let's start at the beginning by reading the instructions. Just give me 1 second and I will be right back with you. Just got to sort something out here, slight technical hitch. Okay, right, so I've also got today, I feel a bit, you know, when you feel a bit tired and you need I don't know, sometimes you need a little bit of I need a hug actually, but there's nobody to give me a hug. So I've made myself a cup of tea instead. You know that feeling when you just need a nice hot cup of tea and a hug, but I have to live without the hug, I just have the tea. And it's very nice, if I may say so. So remember, if you're ready to make along with me today, then get your cup of tea on the ready, and we can both drink a cup of tea and think of each other and give us a virtual hug. Right, let's get started. Got my little pile of wool here. Put this out of the way. So for the hedgehog, you will need 8 grams of lanolin rich core wool, 3 grams of grey beige and dark brown curls, a wisp of black New Zealand merino bats, 1 pair of 4mm black glue in eyes. You only need this medium felting needles, and all you need are scissors and some clear drying glue. And that the scissors are for the curls in case you have to separate them. Sometimes that's better than pulling them and they just go frizzy. And for the glue, you will need to glue in the eyes. And that's basically it. Right, I'm going to go overhead because I'm going to work with the overhead camera. So the little wool mat that you find inside your kit, you can actually felt this together so it doesn't slip around like that by just using your coarse felting, sorry, you've got a medium felting needle, your medium felting needle, and just stab into it a little bit. So if you're completely new to needle felting, then I always get everybody to do this before any workshop or before they start, because that's a good way of practicing, that you're stabbing the needle straight in and out in a straight line. So you don't want any of this. It's no curving. You're not knitting. You're not knitting. You're not crocheting. You're not sewing. You're stabbing. That's basically it. So stab the needle straight in and out. And when you do this on your felting mat, it will sort of fuse together and it doesn't fall apart so easily now. So that's quite a good bit of information if you need to stabilize your felting mat. But that can be put to one side for now, because first of all, we're going to take our wool here, and you take a good pinch, and which is about 1/4 and of the main cream wool, and put it to one side. So if I imagine quartering that now, that will probably be about here. I love this lanolin rich core wool. If you've not worked with it before, it's absolutely amazing. It does wonders for your hands, and it's really beautiful to work with. And then you have the body. You take the remaining wool and roll up so you make a solid shape about 8 to 10 centimeter long. So the tip here is that you use your left tape measure on our instructions, and whatever the length of this will be is what's going to be the width, which is going to be the whatever the length is will be the width, obviously. So whatever the width is will be the length of your hedgehog, that way around. So if you roll it up like this will be the width of the length of your hedgehog. So you need to measure the width, which is should be hopefully about 8 to 10 centimeters long. That is actually not bad. Squish it a bit together. And now as I'm rolling it up, I know that will be the length of my hedgehog. But what I can do is I can also crunch it in a little bit on the sides. So I am rolling this into a nice neat sausage roll. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these wispy ends out as much as I can, because I want to get as many wraps onto this shape as I can. And at the moment, I'm not worried what's the front and the back of my hedgehog, but I'm going all the way round and round and round until these wispy ends cannot fold over anymore. And once I've got to the very end of it, that is when I use my felting needle, and I'm just going to tuck these into the main shape, just so that the shape now is secure and I can let go of it. Here we go. So now I've got a shape that looks about like this, like a sausage. If you measure that against, this is actually exactly 9.5 centimeters long. So that's quite a good shape to start with. Now what we need to do is we need to give it a pointy nose and a round bottom. That's what we're aiming for. So to give it a pointy nose, you concentrate your needle felting needle at one end, and you might already have a more pointy and a more flatter end. So for me, this looks slightly more pointy and this looks slightly more round. So I'm going to stab my needle now, concentrated, always towards the nose tip, so to speak, the one that isn't there yet, but from about 1/3 of the shape towards the end. And I keep turning this round because I want it to be nice and round. And again, I'm still not so worried about any of the other parts of him. I just want this to be pointy. So keep turning it and keep lifting it, turning it, so that you make a nice pointy end here. So now I've got this slightly pointier. He's actually grown a little bit in length at the same time. And what I'm going to do next now is you can add a little bit of so from the wool you put aside, take 3 to 4 pinches and lay them on top of each other to make a lofty wad. So this is because you want to build up that domed forehead here. So I've got my wool here, and I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4 pinches, and I'm laying them where, now you've got to decide where's the top of your hedgehog. I'm laying them on top of his head, felt them down to give him that slightly domed head, and I'm felting this straight into his head. So I'm going straight in to make that ridge here, that edge appear. Can you see it's quite a bit exaggerated at the moment, but I haven't felted it down yet. So I'm going to do that. Now at this point you can stylize your hedgehog already. If you like your hedgehog to have a slightly upturned nose, then work on this now by felting just into the nose and make it go up a little bit so it looks like it's a so a slightly pointy nose that's pointing upwards. You can do this now. You can still do it later too, but now seems a good time as any time. Or you can just have it straight, pointing straight out. So wherever you stab the needle is where the reduction is going to take place. Now, when I teach this workshop, what I usually do is I don't attach the legs just yet. I'll go straight from this shape and to the eyes. And on the instruction, it tells you to make the legs first. It's entirely up to you. But what I will do is, because you might not want to make legs, I'm skipping that point at the moment, and we attach the legs later. And we're going to make the nose and the mouth. For the nose, you just need a wisp of the black, literally a little wisp. You've got way more than you need. This is all I'm taking. You can already sort of slightly pre-shape this into a smaller piece, lay it onto the hedgehog's nose, and then all you're going to do is very gently stab into his nose. You don't need to go very deep, but you do need to be consistent, going sort of in a circular fashion and allowing the wool to be pulled inward by the needle. You can fold some of the wispy fibers in as well, till you've got check that you're heading in the right direction in terms of it needs to be in the center of the nose. Stab that in, and when you get to the end and you've got wispy fibers that are not obliging, then just twist them around your needle as if you've got spaghetti on your fork, and stab them in as they catch at the end of the needle into the notches of your felting needle. And you notice I'm not even sinking the needle in all the way to the end. I'm just literally doing it very, very gently, just so that I attach the nose without flattening the face of the hedgehog. So he's now got a nose, and you can work on the surrounding areas at any point. That's the beauty about needle felting. Nothing's ever completely finished. If you're still working on the project, you can still work on just about everything. And the next thing you're going to do is you can give him a little mouth underneath his nose, and we're only doing that by needle felting a consistent line into it, which is slightly curved up because our hedgehog is smiling. There we go, smiling hedgehog. And that's all we're going to do for a mouth. We're not even going to color it in. You might have to adjust some of the other areas as you're felting into the mouth, but that's all we're doing, just felting that round little smiley mouth into it. So now you've got a hedgehog that's smiling, it's got a nose, and the next thing that we're going to do is add the eyes into it. Now for the eyes, hedgehogs have actually got quite little piggy eyes, so we're sticking with the small eyes, but we can add more features around the eyes. So for that, you take your felting needle and you're actually going to use it to make a hole in the side of the head. Give it a bit of a jiggle once the needle is inserted, almost all the way. Don't do it before that. And you can see there's a little hole there, and that is where you're going to sink your pin for the eyes in straight away. So it's got a little piggy eye there now, and then you're going to do this on the other side, remembering that it needs to be on the same height. So put the eye in there as well. Just insert it gently there, and then check that it's in the right position. This looks good. He's looking at me now with his two little piggy eyes. And then all you're going to do is you're not going to take the eyes out again, but you're going to use a glue stick. Oh, the glue's already coming out. Let's just wipe a little bit off. It's been too keen, this glue. Just use your glue stick and insert the nozzle behind the eye there. Add the glue, push the eye back in, and then you repeat this on the other side. This glue is definitely keen to come out. And that's all you need to fasten the eyes in, and that's the only time you need the glue. So make sure the eyes are all secure and in there now, and now we can leave them to dry. I'm now going to work on the cover of my hedgehog. So you can still, because we haven't stabbed him much in his bum, you can make him slightly shorter by stabbing in around his bottom. And if you can hear some loud noise that sounds like a motorbike, it's not. It's actually my son on his quad bike. And even though I told him to not do it, he is of course doing it. Because what else do children do? Never listen to you. Right, hopefully that's the end of it, but just in case you're wondering what this is, I'm not sitting in the middle of a motorway or on the back of a tractor. It is my son's really rather too noisy quad bike. Right, so I've now finished the main shape of the hedgehog, so I'm not going to touch this again before I add the curls in. The good thing is you have got a template that you can use. So at the moment my hedgehog is slightly bigger than the template. He's slightly, so I can actually still work him and make him shorter if that is what you want. You don't have to aim for the same size. You can have a bigger size. Notice that I'm stabbing at an angle into his body because I want to shrink his body, but I don't want to just sit him like that and fell straight into it, because then I'm flattening him, flatten some of the features rather than just pulling him a little bit shorter. So that's one way of doing it. I don't want to destroy the features that I've added. So I'm going all over. I'm also flattening his tummy a little bit. So if you are making a hedgehog without legs, who's just sitting on his tummy, then that's a good thing to do already as well. Working my hedgehog and making him a little bit shorter. He's still a bit fat, still a bit long for this template, but again, I think it's okay. Let's just leave him like he is. If you want to work and make him smaller, if yours is too big, then feel free to do that. So I'm now going to add curls onto him. I've got a whole pile of curls here. They don't necessarily all match in colors identically, but this is where I mentioned scissors come in quite handy now, because if you are pulling these curls apart, you're at the risk of just really pulling like this, for example. I keep pulling, and then all I do is I just pull them so that they are frizzy. So I'm going to cut them instead. And now I'm going to add the curls onto the hedgehog. Now what I would say is to work your way from the side round and work in small batches. So what I wouldn't do is this. I wouldn't lay it across him, because he'll look like a stripy hedgehog, and also you're not getting the full effect of the curls. So I'm working on putting the curls here onto the side, working around his face and letting the curls at the end sort of slightly dangle down, or felt them in last. So I'm literally working my way around him, and keep doing that. Now you can give him a bit of a sort of a wig, if you like, by felting into the top of him, with the curls almost going into his eyes, but not quite. Make sure of these different colored blonde tips, and use them all over the hedgehog, because they just add and break up the texture a little bit, and you have plenty of curls there, probably more than you actually need, and just work your way around in small batches around your hedgehog. If the curls are quite long, you'll be surprised, they sort of shrink down as you step into them. So make sure that you start at the top and leave them hanging a little bit longer on the side, and then you can felt them down, but keep it nice and textured. So don't stretch the curls too much over the body. That won't sort of give it the curly look. It will just look like you've stretched curls around the body. And then work your way around. Let's do this side. Split them over a little bit. If the curls are very stubborn and they don't want to attach, then just tease them apart a little bit. It might be that they're too close together, and the needle can't actually catch the fibers so easily. So do make sure that you have the curls spread out quite thinly over the body, and stab them in to the sort of wispier part of the curls. I'm just thinking that these are the sort of things that people often say, I can't get my curls, they won't attach. And it's often because you're trying to attach quite a thick strand, and the needle just can't catch the little wispy fibers of the curls, because they're so nice and tightly curled that the needle just can't get it. If you've got different colors in there, then you could decide to put them maybe on the back, or you leave them out altogether. That's entirely up to you, how you want to design your curls on your hedgehog. And working my way around. Now I've just got to cover the back, the side of, and the back. And then I really loved the other day, I saw somebody make the hedgehog and they kept some of the curls sticking out. That was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Like, he looked really disheveled. So you could choose to do that too. So what you would do there is you would probably give it a fairly good cover first, and then have some of the odd curls. Let's just try that out and see if that works. So you would give him a good cover, and then maybe have some of the curls sticking out like dreadlocks. There, just have them sort of sticking out. I think that looks super cute. So I'm gonna cover him first to make sure I've got enough curls to actually give him a cover, and then I might give him a few dreadlocks sticking out. It's just another it's just something that I spotted somebody doing very creatively in one of the workshops where we do the needle felted curly hedgehog, and I thought that was such a lovely idea. And he looked really funny. He looked like he had just woken up, like a bedhead. There we go. Covering him nicely. You can still work on his shape if you want to. Sometimes it also helps if you really need to get a good grip with your needles. You can use two needles at the same time. You just hold them side by side, and as you've got three, you could use two needles side by side and just stab them in, and you can feel that makes it a lot more. What can I say? It just feels the needles are working a lot more viciously. So you can still do that. Mind whatever you do that you don't stab yourself. So I might yet get him into a slightly shorter, more stubby position. Stab him in. Stab, stab, stab. And in a minute, I'm just going to go onto the big screen and I'll tell you what's happening over the next few weeks and what you might be seeing here behind me. So this is, he's not quite finished. I've got a few more bits of curls to add here, which I am doing. Get these stubbed in. Such a satisfying crunching sound. And I'm just going to see what's happening, give you a chance to catch up. So I've got a slightly wild looking hedgehog here. He's got curls sticking out all over the place. He needs tidying up a bit. He I think his face needs a little bit of work. He doesn't have very many features yet, but I'll work on that in a minute. I've still got a handful of curls left, so I've got scope to do more. And what you will have seen by now, you will have made your toadstool house, which is, oh, here he goes again. Thanks, Max. That there's a toadstool house here. Hopefully you have made yours already in the previous live streams, but remember it stays on YouTube so you can watch it anytime. You've also maybe made a witch, which is here. You've definitely made pumpkins, big and small. You might have already made the acorns by now, who knows? But this is the acorns that I'm talking about. So you can make them with or without faces. That's entirely up to you. Maybe from last year you've made ghosts. So this is a live stream that is now a tutorial on our YouTube channel as well. Maybe you've made leaves. That is on our October newsletter, the free tutorial on the back, but it's also a free tutorial on our YouTube channel. And this is what you've got to look forward to. So these are the next live streams. Finally, you will be making Mr. and Mrs. Tomte on October the 19th and the 26th. I know you've all been waiting for it. And wait no more. 2 sessions of utter bliss making this lovely couple of these 2 really quite rather large Scandinavian favorites. And then the seal is coming on the 2nd of November. It's super cute, that seal. I really love it. I'm love it more the more often I make it. And then there is a mini wreath that you will be making, which is also really, really super cute. And I'm just going to get up to get it because it's hard to tell how big it is. So I will just grab one and then you can have a look at it in real life. But that is a really nice Christmas tree decoration that you might want to be doing in numbers. Churn them out for friends and family to put on their trees, and you incorporate the ribbon into it, and the tutorial will be coming up in November as well. So that's quite a fun project to do and to look forward to. We've also got now, finally, you will have probably had your advent calendar. Fingers crossed, we've posted them out. And they will have probably landed on your doorstep. So that's really exciting. And by the time you see this, who knows, we might actually not have a single one left, but you might be in luck and you can still order yours if you missed out on it, or if you have had second thoughts and now you know you want ours. Try it. There's only one way to find out. Go into our website. If it's still available, get it. If not, you have to wait until next year. We've also got our Advent project, which is Animals in the Wood. It's going to be a wall hanging. I won't even give more away for this, but the main message here is you potentially could still order this. Potentially it might be sold out. I can't look into the future as I'm pre-recording this, but if you know us, you will know that we never disappoint with our projects. So do try and get it if you haven't got it already. And if you haven't done already so, give us the thumbs up on the video. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, then what are you waiting for? We tell you when the live streams are coming up, so you don't have to miss out on anything. When people message us and they say, oh, I don't know where to watch this, it's like, because you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel. Because if you were, you would get a message saying the makers are going live in an hour or whatever. So yeah, do subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe, and let's make us all a huge, big, happy felting family. Right, so let's go back to our little hedgehog. So I'm gonna give him a few more sticky up curls, and I'm gonna work on his face a little bit more, on his hairdo in his face. Just gonna let a few more curls sort of drape into his eyes. Just put my needle down to find the right one again. There we go. So just a few more of these curls, as if they're sort of like a long fringe hanging into his face. There. And framing his face a little bit more. Stabbing down. Keep some of these sticking up. I think that was it's really cute idea to have some of these wild curls sticking up. And so all I'm going to do now is add some wild curls that I'm sticking up. Cutting these short, so I only want them to be nice and sticky up. That's not covered in the instructions. That's just a made up extra benefit right now. So if this is something that you want to do, a dreadlocked curly hedgehog, then go for it. So he has a few curls sticking out, like he needs a good old brush at some point, making him an extra scruffy. I would love to hear where your hedgehog is hibernating. By now you're probably gone crazy on putting all these different possibilities down. So do keep these up, because you will be picked, hopefully, as a winner at random by Alicia, and that is for both the Tuesday and the Thursday. So which is of course lovely for her to be able to do that. It is a random selector, so we never go by what the answer that we love the most. It's just completely random. And when you do get selected, then you need to send us an email to info@themakers.co.uk so that we can ask you for your details, and then we post our spice wool mix out to you. And there's 80 grams in there, and not only can you make the acorns, you can make whatever you like, of course, but we've also got a whole tutorial on how to make the spiced baubles. So they are Christmas tree baubles, which really look lovely in that wool mix as well. So you can do acorns first, and then when you get closer to Christmas, then you can make the spice baubles. Right, this hedgehog is definitely less tidy than any of the ones I've made before, but now I'm going to show you how to make well, let's do the face a little bit more. What you can do is you can give your hedgehog slight sort of features under the eyes, and for this you could use some of the curly or some of the hedgehog curls that you've got. You need to tease out a small amount, which might be tricky. There, small amount. Shorten it. You can tear it apart. All you want is just like a little bit of sort of like almost rings under his eyes, and that adds to his facial features. So put this down if you like. You don't have to do that. It's entirely up to you. This is what it looks like with, and this is what it looks like without. So it's entirely up to you if you like that feature or not. Just keep it really, don't go crazy on it. So you can add slight features to him. You can also you could color in the mouth if you wanted to. If you want to give him a little brown smiley mouth, you can do that too. I'm just re-emphasizing his mouth again, trying to get that nose to go up a bit, if you want the nose to be pointy. So this is what I said, once you you never quite finish on working on anything to do with your hedgehog until you say, okay, that's it, I'm putting him down now, I'm not going to stab him ever again. But until then, you will forever find something that you want to put right. Right, to make the legs, we're going to make them all separately. So there's the hedgehog. I really quite like him actually with the slightly darker eyes. This is without and this is with. There you go. Your choice. Right, you've got some wool left here still, and I'm going back to the pages where we're making the legs. Now you do need to split this into 4 to make the legs, but you also need a little bit extra. And so I'm going to tease a little bit off here. There. Just a little bit, I'm putting that to one side. And then I'm splitting the remainder into 4 equal parts. It's not exact science, okay? So some of them might be slightly bigger than others and some might be slightly smaller. So do your best to have 4 equal portions. And then what you need to do is you need to turn each one into a leg. And to do this, you just take your first wisp, roll the wool into a sausage shape. So roll this with your fingers into a sausage shape like that. Sometimes you find hay in your wool. That's completely normal. And then you firm up the leg with your felting needle. And for that, you do have to mind your fingers. So, and if you want to keep your leg nice and round, you have to keep turning it and stab it all over. So we're going into the front of the leg. We're making literally a little sausage shape. All of it is going to be felted all around, and that might just take a little while because you need to be really careful with your fingers. And then you've got to do this another 3 times for the other 3 legs. There. Oh, I think he's coming back with his quad. Right, 1 leg done, 3 to go. Into a sausage shape. The challenge is to make 4 that are roughly the same. So that's your challenge that you need to try and get right. You can sculpt them quite well actually by just stabbing into them head on as well, but do be careful with your fingers. These shapes are really quite small. You need to keep turning them, lift them off the mat, keep them 3D, always stab into them all around so that you don't make them. That's not bad, that's quite good. Next one. Roll it into a sausage shape. Melt it down. By now you've got the drill. Keep turning it. It's actually quite surprising how much you can use such a small felting mat. When we first tried our earth-friendly felting mats, which of course is what I usually use, if you watch me, you know that I've got our sort of luxury version of our felting mat. Just give it a quick flash. That one here. When I first tried all kinds of samples to see which one works, I actually worked off that size, a whole needle felted picture, because I wanted to see how there's a needle felted picture. You really do give it a lot of concentrated stab straight into it, and I wanted to test it out, and I've used that mat forever and ever on this picture, and it was absolutely fine, and I could work with it really well. So large is not necessarily necessary. Right, my last sausage leg being made here now. You can wear finger protectors. The funniest thing is when I see people wearing their finger protectors on the hand that they're using to stab the needle. Yes, it does happen. I think that is absolutely hilarious. It's like you look at them and you think, I'm sure something's wrong here. And then you realize that they've got the finger protectors on the hand that doesn't need protecting. So funny. Right. 4 little sausage legs for my little hedgehog. And So the legs are meant to be about 1 by 1.5 to 2 centimeters, so about 1 centimeter round, and then perfect. It fits perfectly. I've just measured it against the um, call it, what do you call it, centimeter measurement on the side of the instructions. Now you can give them sort of little feet, and to do the feet you just consistently stab into the sort of end of the foot, about 1 centimeter, 0.5 to 1 centimeter in, and that sort of bends the foot inward. Can you see that? So he's got like a little foot there. So you can do that, or you can just have them on stumpy little legs. That's fine too. This is more risk of getting your fingers caught in a needle. Number 2. Number 3. So in a workshop, I usually don't teach. When I say workshop, we run workshops at shows that we go to, and they're usually 45 minutes to an hour long. And when you're a complete beginner, this will take you longer than 45 minutes to an hour. So a lot of the hedgehogs, they're basically just sitting on their tummies, and that's fine because people can take it home and make extra legs at home if they want to attach them. Right, so now I've got 4 legs with little bendy feet on it as well. And now I need to attach them. And to do this, you have to turn your hedgehog on his tummy, on his back. And now you're going to place them. Now, if you've got, say, 2 smaller ones or bigger ones, whatever, then you should have them. You should have them as pairs. So have the bigger ones as the hind one, or whichever way you decide. And they should, obviously the toes or the feet should be pointing forward, and all you're going to do is you're stabbing around the shape of the leg, right in the edge, and going straight into the body shape. So you're fastening them on by going around the edges into the body shape. I think it looks quite nice if you make them sort of pigeon-toed. So if the feet are slightly pointing inwards there. And then you do this on the back as well. Remember, the feet have to point towards the front. Get them stabbed in as well. All the way around the base. Stab them in so that you stab into the base of the leg, into the top of the leg as it is, and then into the main shape. And then the same with the last. Oop, that's pointing the wrong way. And get that one on as well. If one leg is slightly shorter than the other, then you can adjust that by just stabbing a little bit more into it to make it shorter. And then the final thing you need to do, because you want to cover sort of the join of what you've just attached here, you just use the extra wool that you've put to one side, and just put wisps around the join and stab it in around the join and into the body to cover up where you've just attached the leg. And basically that is a whole hedgehog made in one sitting. And I'm really, really sad that I don't know what you're choosing for hibernation spaces for your hedgehogs, but I'm sure you come up with really good, fun places to have your little hoggy hide out. Now, I wanted to bring all the different hedgehogs that we already offer in our repertoire. So the Curly Hedgehog is fairly new, but most of you know the makers already for the hedgehogs where we use the mohair fabric for making hedgehogs. I've got a half finished one here, so I'll just show you the fabric here. So these hedgehogs you can make more realistic from our hedgehog kits. We have a small hedgehog kit, and then we have all 3 sizes as hedgehog packs. Just to remind you, the difference between a hedgehog pack and a hedgehog kit, or any of our kits and packs, is that packs don't have the tools, but kits do. So if you choose to get a hedgehog pack, remember you have to use your own tools. But if you get the small hedgehog kit, then there are tools in it. And then we've also got our curled up hedgehog, which is basically a hedgehog that's sort of like, most of it is invisible, most of it is hidden inside its rounded body, which is also using the mohair fabric. The hedgehog prices for these kits have gone up massively, and that's not our fault. That is because the hedgehog fabric has almost tripled in price. And yeah, we're not very happy about it, but there's not much we can do. I could blame all kinds of different events why that is, but that's still not going to make the prices go down. So let's keep politics out of this. Right, here we go. Little hedgehog has got legs now, 4 in fact, and hopefully he can stand on it. Yeah, looking good. He's definitely standing on it, and he can now go away and join his friends, who are all very curious and coming to say hello, to find out who this new friend is. So you can see that you can actually make quite a big hedgehog from the hedgehog pack kit. However, if I felted him down a little bit more, he would probably be a lot smaller, but I didn't do that. So let's let them go on their way, these little hedgehogs, and say goodbye. And I will be going to the big screen. Another one. See, they're very good sliding on their tummies as well. They don't need legs. And the last one can go in a little circle, and off he goes. Right, so that is basically how you make a curly hedgehog. They're still all here. They haven't gone away. There you go. And yeah, that's the one I made. I'll just show him to you a little bit closer up. And that's it. There you go. He's all smiley. He's got his 4 legs. He stands quite comfortably on them, and that's it basically. And I thought it would be good to show you what the Mr. and Mrs. Tomte are like again, because you've still got time to get your needle felting pack. Remember, pack, no tools. They come as separate packs, so you have to decide whether you just want Mrs. Tomte or whether you just want Mr. Tomte. Their beady little eyes just under their hat. There comes with everything to make them, including the eyes. And what I've done for the first time here is, because a wool is usually very, very light, you can actually weigh it down by putting a stone inside, which is in there. And I haven't closed it up because I want to show you how to do that when we actually make them. Of course, you can get both Mr. and Mrs. Tomte. So, you know, they're actually the wrong way around, because this way their hats almost make a heart, and they're really very much in love with each other. So a lovely love story just before Christmas, something to enjoy. And I've just had a really great competition question pop in my head. You might have even guessed it. So I'm not going to say it yet, because I don't want to give you time to think about it and come up with the most fantastic story ever. But I do know what we're going to do for a story on these 2 handsome and attractive 2 little Tomte. It's going to be a hoot making them. I will give you the heads up. There is just no way of looking at them without thinking all kinds of other things. And so I'm hoping I'm going to be on my best behavior on the day that we're making them. But before that, you've got plenty of things to get on with, no doubt. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for bearing with us whilst we've got our busy time to go to shows, and I wish I could be here right now reading all the comments and having a good laugh and a giggle, and probably getting all the pronunciations wrong and making lots of mistakes and making you all laugh. But instead, you've just got to listen to me sitting here talking to myself. But it's the times will come back, and as I say, Mr. and Mrs. Tomta, I will be right there by your side. And of course, then we've got all the Christmas time to look forward to when we're doing the Advent project together, which I will be doing live with you on every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Gosh, I can't believe it's so close to Christmas. So for now, I just thank you all, and I wish you a really happy October. And are you getting spooked out yet by all the Halloween makes? Do tell us about it. See you soon.